So this is the vlog for Laid Back KL. So this song and the chibi image that it comes from are kind of a story that came off the side of Central Market. Really, it did. So the thing is when I first got to KL, I had an itinerary. I was like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I had it by day, I had everything lined out. I landed in KL at about 10 in the morning. I was like, I have all afternoon. I will go to some museums. I will see this. I will do this. I will check these off my list. And I was like, I hadn't accounted for the fact that I have a tendency. It's like I'm hoping that as I get older and wiser and, much more into my inner zen, I will not do this. But it's like when I go on an international trip, it's usually something I have planned for months. It usually involves like a visa change or a job change or a career change. I have massive amounts of paperwork and boxes to check before I go. And I usually don't get sleep for like 2 nights before I take a trip. I did this when I left the States. I unfortunately did this when I left for KL this time. So when I got to KL, I did get some sleep on the plane, I think. I'm not sure. It was a few-hour flight. And I landed in KL and I was like, I am too exhausted. Just forget the itinerary for today. It's just not happening. It was like I was going to go to a Buddhist temple. I was going to go to one of the museums, I think the Museum of Malaysia, and I was going to go to one other place. Oh, IKEA for dinner. I was like, none of that is happening today. I was like, this is just not happening. I'm going to get out of this terminal because I had gotten through uh, the E the E gates because I had finished my MEDAC before I came to Kuala Lumpur, but because I was running on little sleep, I had messed up my passport number, so I had to redo it at the kiosk and then go through the E gates. I did feel a little bad because I didn't get my Malaysia stamp. I was like, that's a bit of a bummer, but it's okay. It's okay. So anyway, I made it through the E-gates, and then I went to the the Kuala Lumpur airport is really, really huge. They have Terminal 1, they have Terminal 2. They're absolutely ginormous. They're like these huge walking malls or markets, whatever you want to think about it like. And I had gotten through the e-gate and I was like, I need to eat because I am really hungry too, in addition to being tired. And when I came to KL this time, I had packed energy bars because when I had gone on a 5-day trip to KL 2 to 3 years ago, I had trouble with the food because I don't eat seafood and I don't eat spicy food because of allergies. So that really limited options for me at that point with where I was in KL and what was available. So I really thought this time I was like, I don't know if there'll be food, but I have energy bars. I'm going to try to grab a bite on the way out of the airport because airport food can be more expensive. I totally get that. That is totally true. But when you're traveling in Asia, it's really not terribly expensive in the grand scheme of things. So I don't really worry about if I decide to go buy food at the airport. It's not huge. The only exception is the water. They charge you an arm and a leg for the water in KL airport. In my opinion, I'm like, it's like $3 a bottle, which I know is not as much as some places, but for Asia, that's a lot for a bottle of water. So anyway, I was coming through the airport. I stopped at a roadie shop, but they're really different roadie. Like they were a filled roadie. I don't know how to explain. It's like they were not flat, they were kind of rounded. Very, very delicious. A little salty, but they had like a cinnamon flavored one, and then I can't remember what the other flavors, but I got two of those, put them in my bag to take to the hotel because I'm like, if I decide to not leave my hotel room today, that is okay. I will have these roti thingies because they did not have pork or seafood or spicy stuff in them. And then I went to another bakery and I did sit down and have like a yam filled um, bread thing. I don't know what to call it, but like a sweet potato filled bread. And then I had taken a pumpkin and cheese bread to go from the same shop. That again was just delicious, amazing, and very good. I will say the pumpkin cheese filled one was better than the yam one, but still both good. And then as I was coming out of the airport, I saw FamilyMart. And I was like, okay, forget everything else. I'm stopping here. Because FamilyMart, I came across them in Taiwan. FamilyMart is amazing. The food is usually quite healthy. It is very reasonable, very clean, very hygienic. I have visited like 7-Elevens in Asia as well, but the food quality in 7-Eleven, in my personal opinion, is not the same as the food quality in Family Mart. They just have a better food options at the Family Mart, whether you're talking about in Taiwan or whether you're talking about in Malaysia. And then they also have like really nice meals you can buy at the Family Mart and wonderful sofuto ice cream. So I got some ice cream. I got a chicken sandwich, one of many, because I bought a lot of chicken sandwiches when I was in KL. I was like, that food I know I can eat. I'm going to eat it. But apparently the chicken sandwiches have a lot of salt because I got very poofy in my face from the chicken sandwich. But anyway, it's okay. So I left from the Family Mart. I went to my hotel room and I crashed. And I was like, I just slept, rested, ordered dinner in, and that was my day. My first day in KL. I was like, I did not get the grand list of things done. I was like, that did not happen. It was like the itinerary is going to shift. So the next day I looked at my itinerary and I had like two museums in the afternoon. I had three coffee shops I was going to visit. I had the aquarium in the morning. And I was like, this is not all going to get done. We will try to go to the aquarium because I'd already bought my ticket the day before for that. I went to the aquarium. I then went to Central Market right after that because I was like, I know that I can get to Central Market from the aquarium quite easily. I mean, it does take a little while, but it's not terribly far. And I just thought that way I can get some souvenirs, do a quick run through for maybe an hour or two, and then be ready to go on to something else. I went to the Space and Time Cube Museum after that. So when I was in Central Market, I had come around the corner of the outside, and there's like a side area, and they had a little open market with some stands. I don't know what the market was for, but they had all these banners and things and these cute little tents. And there was like a mom there selling her brownies, and she had her daughter with her, and they had these cute little meringues with little faces icinged in. And I don't really eat a lot of desserts myself, but I was like, those are so cute. I took some pictures of them. But the thing I liked about the side market was it was very quiet. It was very relaxed. People were just talking quietly, walking by the booths. And also, it didn't have the huge buy thing that you get in Central Market. Because sometimes when you're in Central Market, people come up and go, oh, darling, you should buy this. And it's like, I'm not darling and I don't want to buy that. So, I really liked how laid back that little outdoor market that's just like a tiny small one on the side was. And I thought, in KL, it tends to be very fast paced, very da 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 da. And I think it's kind of interesting that when you get to the side of that central market, it's like everything's chill, everything's calm. No one's like trying to get you to buy stuff. I mean, of course, they'd like it if you bought the brownies and the meringue with icing faces, of course. But it's like they're not being pushy about things. And no offense to the sellers who are pushy, but it's like that's something that Lana really doesn't like. So it's like this was laid back KL, and it was just really relaxed, very chill. And I thought this song is kind of to encapsulate the laid back attitude and feeling of that moment in the journey.